Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the video. I hope your morning is going great. Mine's been really awesome, and we have some juice to cover in this video, boys. A lot to talk about. First, we're going to start off continuing the discussion of XQC's ban. On Twitter yesterday, Jayne got into a fight with Seagull fanboy number one, whatever the guy's name is. You guys all know him. He's the guy on Reddit who always hogs all the karma, posts everything. Well, these two pretty much got into an argument on Twitter. I do think Jayne came out on top. Number one, Seagull's fanboy does seem like he has a vendetta against XQC. He was clearly hating real hard. And then he compared XQC to Kaluge, a super toxic tier 3 player who harasses women and just other stuff like that, gets banned for boosting. It was a terrible comparison. I'll show you guys everything that was said on Twitter between these two and as well as Kaluge. Then transitioning into the second part of the video, we are going to be taking a look at the Hangzhou roster because 6 of their players have been announced. They've been dropping 2 new players every single day, so we're going to look at every single player joining the new pink Overwatch League team, and I'm telling you guys, their roster looks pretty good too. And then for the last part of the video, guys, we're going to be taking a look at a clip from Harbleu's stream where he completely just mocks Team USA because of how trash we've been performing over the last couple World Cups, specifically the one we just played in. And honestly, it was one of the funniest clips I've ever seen in my life. I wouldn't take it too serious. I think it was pure comedy. So if you guys are excited to watch this video, do yourself a favor, do me a favor, subscribe, stay updated on all Overwatch League news. By the way, for everybody wondering why the intros are so long, I've explained this in a few videos, but it's for the people that don't want to sit here and watch all the content and hear my opinions. So what a lot of us figured was a good idea over a month ago was to make really long intros covering everything I'm going to be talking about, just so someone, if they don't want to be here for a long time, can get their news quickly and then get out. So that's the reason for the long intros. Anyways, guys, let's hop into it. Alright, so let's start it off with this fight between Jayne and Seagull number one fan. So this all started when there was a clip of Jayne floating around that was taken out of context where he said that XQC was the only reason Overwatch isn't dead. Now, this actually wasn't Jayne saying this. He was reading a donation, so I guess it was him saying it, but it wasn't coming from like him. He was reading it from someone who sent money to him. So it wasn't his words, so he tweeted this out. To be clear, the clip of me saying XQC is the only reason Overwatch isn't dead comes from me reading a donation. That being said, he still shouldn't have been banned at all. I'd love to see Blizzard working with XQC instead of banning him, especially with their new streamer project. Now, I have to say, after reading this, I completely agree with Jayne. I think Blizzard should be working with XQC instead of working against him. It makes no sense for them to ban him when he is their number one source for viewers on Twitch. As we've seen from the past couple days, all the screenshots floating around, I showed you some of them yesterday on my video. XQC has been killing Overwatch when it comes to viewers. He's had like 30k by himself, where Overwatch is sitting at a total of around 25 to 27k. So clearly, Overwatch should be working with XQC. Let's go ahead and jump into a response coming out from Seagull number one fan. He responded with this: do you not think he is incredibly toxic? Then again, you support Kaluge. So Seagull number one fanboy here is saying that XQC is incredibly toxic. He should be banned. And then he took a shot at Jayne saying that he supports Kaluge. Now, for those of you guys who don't know who Kaluge is, he's a very toxic tier 3 player who has competed on some trials teams here and there. Most notably, he competed with the GOATS roster that had Gator on it, Frill, Tensa, and Scott. Now, that team was pretty toxic. They got a lot of flack for that, but Kaluge was definitely one of the worst. He would harass women in games, just super toxic and rude to all his teammates, and never took games seriously. He would win trade, whole bunch of accusations about Kaluge. But this was Jayne's response. Yes, I support Kaluge. He knows he fucked up in the past, but has been trying to improve himself both as a player and a person recently. I will not be shamed by you for supporting people who are not perfect. Again, I like this response coming out from Jayne. Even though I don't really support Kaluge that much, I respect the fact that he does, and he likes to give people who messed up another chance. If Kaluge can go out there and prove that he's not toxic anymore, then more power to him, but it's gonna be tough. So there's nothing wrong about Jayne here. Then Seagull number one fan responds and says he isn't trying to change, just as XQC isn't. Then Kaluge responds in here and says, who are you to say that I am not? LOL. Seagull number one fan responds and says, okay, let's believe you for the 4th time now. So very interesting argument here. I definitely agree with everything Jayne said. As for Seagull number one fan, it seems like he has some vendetta against XQC. Clearly doesn't like him, and he clearly doesn't like Kaluge either. As for Kaluge coming in here responding, I guess good for him. Hopefully he can stay on the right track and prove that he's not toxic anymore. It's going to be a long road though. As I said, he's been banned so much. He's done so many horrible things. We're just gonna have to see what he does. But a very weird and interesting argument argument coming out here. I think Seagull #1 fan needs to chill out a little bit. Clearly, he's upset at XQC for something, but that will be the end of this argument. Let's go ahead and move on now and take a look at that Hangzhou Overwatch League roster. Yes, guys, it's the pink Overwatch League team that we are all so hyped for. They already have a total of 22K followers on Twitter, which is one of the most out of any of the expansion teams, and honestly getting up there close to some of the Overwatch League teams that exist now. I really do think the pink branding paid off for them. But as I said at the beginning of the video, they have been announcing their players in pairs over the past few days. So we have a total of 6 players announced so far. Starting off with the very first announcement of their roster, they tweeted this out. They're coming, the Shield of Hangzhou, Spark, welcome Gojue and No Smite. Now Gojue comes from Overwatch Contenders China. He competed with LGD Gaming, where he had some pretty good seasons. He never won, but he came really close. He also played for Chinese Overwatch World Cup, where most of you probably know him from. Moving on to the second main tank, we have No Smite. He comes from X6 Gaming, where he had 2 really good seasons with X6 Gaming, specifically in Korea Contender Season 1, where he took home the championship. These are 2 really solid main tanks, and it's going to be tough for this Hangzhou Spark team to decide who they want to start. I could see both of them getting playtime at the beginning, and then by the end of the season, whoever's playing better will probably get more time. Moving on to the second announcement, they tweeted this out. Please give a warm welcome to Rhea and Adora. Looking forward to their performance in the league, fighting. Now, Rhea also comes from X6 Gaming. He won Season 1 Contenders with No Smite. He also played in Korea Contender Season 2, where they got 5th through 8th. He's a solid overall off-tank, and I think he will provide good performances for Hangzhou. Moving on to the next player, we have Adora, who is a DPS player who competed with Team 7 in South Korea Contenders. They didn't do all that well. They placed 9th through 10th, missing the playoffs, but he is a solid DPS player, so I'm excited to see how he'll perform in the league. And then moving on to the announcement they made this morning. Welcome our DPS duo, Godsby and Bozzy. Bang! Now, Godsby, he also comes from X6 Gaming. As I said previously, this roster is mainly a mixture of X6 and 7 players, plus Gojue. Now, Godsby is an incredible DPS player. I was surprised he wasn't in Season 1, but he is here now. Moving on to the second player, we have Bozzy. He comes from Team 7, also a DPS player. Really solid. I expect these 2 to be the starters. So that's going to be the Hangzhou Overwatch League roster so far. We have 2 more players coming in I'm expecting. You guys already know I did leak these 6 players over the offseason, but now it's official, and I just love the branding. I cannot wait to see Hangzhou Spark compete. This roster is definitely looking like a wild card going into Season 2. They honestly could end up being maybe even a top 5 team, but they could also end up being a bottom 5 team. It really depends on how these players come together. If the coaching staff does a good job, meshes everyone together, they have really good synergy, I could see them being great, top 5, maybe top 10, But if the coaching staff is a mess and these players can't get along, they can end up being a bottom 5 team. Of course, having a bunch of Koreans is usually good, but as we've seen from a team like Seoul Dynasty in Season 1, you're not guaranteed to make the playoffs no matter how good you might think you are or how good everybody thinks you are. You need to come in, you need to have a good coaching staff, and you have to perform. I'm excited. A lot of these players are pretty talented, so if I did have to make a guess, I would think they have a better chance at being a good roster, but again, it comes down to that coaching staff. Be sure to leave a comment down below letting me know how good you guys think this roster is so far. That is going to be it for the Hangzhou Spark. Let's move on and talk about Harbleu, because as I said earlier, he did call out Team USA for having an absolute terrible performance against UK, getting destroyed after being super cocky, and he just straight up said, hey, listen, Harbleu for 2019 Overwatch World Cup Team USA, they need me, I will be the guy to put us through. It was absolutely hilarious, guys. Let's go ahead and roll the clip.
Man, why are we so free? Why was USA so free? What happened to us? We used to be a proud nation. A proud nation that... We used to be a nation that teams would look up to in Overwatch. In Overwatch, if they knew they were playing against USA, they knew they had to fuck around. They knew they'd be going for a challenge. What happened? What happened, America? We were the champs. Now we're the chumps. I'm throwing my, you know what? I'm throwing my hand to the ring.
I know you struggle to lift up your energy drink.
Harbleu for Overwatch World Cup 2019. I'm tossing my hat in the ring. Enough of this losing shit. America needs us. America needs to win. America needs to strike fear into the hearts of these other countries in the World Cup, and we need to show them no mercy. There we go. There we go.
So there it is, boys. Harbleu nominating himself for 2019 World Cup. Hey, I support it. Team USA, they have sucked every year so far. Not true. They did good the year before the prior when Jake was on the team. They had a very close match against South Korea. Of course, this most recent one against UK was definitely a huge blunder. And I'm hoping coming next season, one team can finally defeat South Korea. But I'm definitely not going to make the same mistake I made this World Cup and say that South Korea is going to lose. They're too damn good. By the way, everybody wondering if I am still going to burn that Team USA jersey. Yes, I am. I received it yesterday. We'll be doing it pretty soon here. I just got to schedule a good time to do it. It's an extra large, so we got a lot of thread to burn, guys. USA, the hopes and dreams were crushed. Now this jersey is going to get burned. That's going to be it for me though, guys. I do want you all to leave a comment down below suggesting some good top 10 lists I can make. Last season we had some really good ones. Top 10 Overwatch League players, top 10 players not in the Overwatch League, best player at every single hero in the Overwatch League. Now going into season 2, we can do another top 10 players list. We can do a top 10 players that were signed this season, top 10 players not in the Overwatch League again. We can do a countdown of the top 10 DPS players, a countdown of the top 10 supports, top 10 tanks, etc, etc. Let me know down in the comments what you guys want to see. By the way, guys, I don't know if all of you noticed, but yesterday I posted on YouTube a community post where I put a poll asking you guys which video you wanted me to make. Either how good is the Toronto Overwatch League team or the top 10 big brain gamers in the Overwatch League. And of course, the top 10 big brain gamers won, so I did that video, but I want to let you guys know I'm going to utilize the community page even more now, so stay tuned on YouTube, check for those notifications, so you guys can vote on videos that I'm thinking of making that day, or whatever it is, so check that out. Anyways, that's going to be it for me. If you want to stay updated on anything and everything Overwatch League, you already know this is your channel. Subscribe. I can't say it enough, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm out of here. Peace.